Hey everybody, how's it going today? Welcome to Accountability Score Improvement. I'm Will,
I'm AJ.
and today we're doing a little something different. It is late, and by that I mean it is 9, and I decided I wanted to do something last minute. You know, we haven't really done an episode in a little while, but I just wanted to shoot the breeze with my buddy AJ. And today we're not talking about our universe. We're not even talking about Dungeons and Dragons. We're not talking about nothing. We're talking about a comic. We're talking about multiple comics. This is book club now, AJ. This is what book club is.
And Will, you've read like a lot of comics, right?
I am, because I didn't have sex until I was 25, which is crazy because I'm 23 right now.
I was gonna say.
I'm just telling the future. This is pretty much what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Yeah, no, I mean, I've always been interested in comics, but I've never really gotten to like read them. I don't know. They've never been like an option for me to like pick up or anything because I read real books.
Okay. All right. Let's.
I don't need them picture books. You know?
This is a graphic novel. Okay, this is a graphic novel.
Lazy man's novel, man.
How dare you? My mommy said that if I could pick this out of a library, it counted as reading.
Anyway. My mom's a librarian, so
okay. Oh, and suddenly she thinks she's better than my mom. Anyway, we're gonna be talking about the Ultimates today, or as I like to call it, the Avengers from the Ultimate Universe. That's basically what it is. So AJ, what do you know about the Avengers?
Well, I've seen all the movies, and Iron Man goes pew pew, and Hawkeye goes pew pew, and Thor goes bang bang, and Hulk
with his gun
punch.
Yeah, with Thor goes bang bang with his gun.
No, with his hammer, it goes bang bang. That's the sound that it makes against the Ultron bots.
Gotcha. And yeah, Hulk goes smash, and the Seal goes ow ow ow.
No, the Seal goes. Ah. Sorry, that's DC. That's DC.
Ooh, okay. But yeah, so you know basically the Avengers from the movies. Well, this is how the MCU started, is with The Ultimates by Mark Millar. Basically, this was like a whole new initiative in like the early 2000s on basically like what if the Marvel universe existed but now, and by now I mean 20 years ago. So it's a little dated, but I think it's fun because it's basically answers the question, what if your favorite heroes didn't act like your favorite heroes? Because that's basically what the Ultimates is.
Yeah, isn't like Spider-Man happy in this universe?
For the most part. Well, no. That's the new Ultimate Universe that they created recently. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of continuity. Comics, they'll break your heart. Anyway, but the old Ultimate Universe included things like putting Spider-Man back in high school, because he hadn't been in high school since like the early 70s to late 60s. So he's back in high school. He's 15 years old. And it also has the Avengers, known as the Ultimates, which include Captain America, Iron Man, Giant Man / Ant-Man, the Wasp, the Hulk, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. So basically the MCU lineup is what that turns into. But some of the... Oh, and Thor. But basically just... the beginning of the Ultimates is so interesting because we start in World War II, you know, Cap gets frozen in a block of ice, and then we see the world, and Iron Man, Tony Stark, is a high functioning alcoholic. Like he is like drinking heavily at like 8 a.m. and saying things like, oh, this bottle seems to have evaporated out of nowhere.
Of course.
Just be like, that's a problem.
That is something that I wish they did more in the MCU. I did kind of want to see like a demon in the bottle story, which, again, I know some comics. I haven't read any of them, but like I wanted to see alcoholic Tony Stark.
Yeah, well, buckle up because imagine if a person could be an alcoholic without any of the side effects. That's what this represents Tony
Oh,
Stark
amazing.
as in this. So he has that going on. Ant-Man and the Wasp are just a very toxic couple. I don't know if you knew about Ant-Man, but Hank Pym, likes to smack his wife.
Yeah. That's what this
Yeah.
is. That's what that's from. Okay, this is what that's
No,
from.
no. Well, he smacked her like in the 70s or 80s, and
Yeah.
now they will never not have that be the thing because not only does he strike her once, they literally get into a fight in an issue called Ant-Man versus the Wasp, where it's just a domestic dispute. It's not even like they use their superpowers, but it is not fun.
Yeah. Well, that's why
Yeah.
they kind of made Hank Pym in the MCU a dick, and they used Scott Lang as the main Ant-Man.
Yeah, because Paul Rudd couldn't hurt a fly, you know. But yeah, so basically, Hank Pym is an asshole in this universe, and also has like a little man complex, mainly because he's surrounded by people like Iron Man and Captain America and Thor. So he's basically like, yeah, me and my wife, we work for the government and we're scientists and it's all cool. But why doesn't anyone respect me?
Maybe that's why he has to compensate by being Giant Man. Also, I just want to say that it took me way too long to get the Giant Man
Oh
pun.
my god.
Like that took me like years to figure out. I was like, God, Giant Man's such a stupid name. Why is it Ant-Man and Giant Man? That's so oh.
Exactly. It's that creative. That's what that was back in the 60s. They were just
Yeah.
like, here you go. But yeah, they have Wasp. Janet Van Dyne is basically, she's like a big like celebrity chaser. Like she loves the attention that the Ultimates get. She's like on the talk shows, she's meeting up with celebrities, she's going to like dinner parties, all kinds of
So
stuff.
is she like if a wine mom became a superhero?
Kind of, but like that early phase where it's like, I used to be cool.
Oh my God.
Like, so basically their whole thing in the first Ultimates is basically Hank beats the shit out of her. Captain America finds out, beats the shit out of Hank, and is basically just like, so Janet, how about you and me? And it's just like, what? And by the way, they do. Like, but it's such like a weird thing because Captain America is from a time where it's like, well, I beat up your boyfriend who is messing you around. Well, I guess you're mine now, and I'll treat you right, Jan.
Property. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Thor's an eco-terrorist. Like,
Captain America becomes unfrozen out of ice. Wait, women can vote now.
like that's basically Captain America. And then Thor's an eco-terrorist. Like he's kind of like Sean Penn, where he's just like, do you know what's happening in Iraq right now? We need to fix this. There's people starving in Africa. Save the whales. But
I'm
as
imagining
Thor,
Thor like tying himself to a tree and then be like, no, I won't leave. You can't cut this tree down. And the thing where like people are like, we can plant another tree, man. It's fine.
yeah, it's exactly that, except he like destroys places with his hammer because they say that, this tree is going to be destroyed to make a shopping mall. Like that's basic. So he's an asshole. So we have that, and then we have Black Widow and Hawkeye. Just basically think them from the movies, but with less personality. Oh, and Hawkeye also has a family in this, like he did in the movies. Yeah, so just a little influence from the comics there. And then Hulk is Bruce Banner, and he's a loser. Okay, he turned into the Hulk once, destroyed Harlem, and he's never been the Hulk again. Is basically like the premise they start him off with, because he was trying to replicate the super soldier serum to make Captain America, and then he did it, turned into a monster. And now everyone just treats him like an asshole. So basically, no one's a winner in this at all. It's basically saying what if your heroes weren't cool?
Well, that's what we want, right? We want them to be relatable.
Yeah, relatable. So basically,
everyone reading the comics is a loser.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, moving on. Segue. So the Ultimates basically starts off, like it's how it normally is. So all the heroes are gathered, and Nick Fury has an idea. He says there's an idea to bring together a bunch of super people to fight terrorism, basically.
Is this Samuel Jackson Nick Fury, or is it still white Nick Fury?
This is the Ultimates is the origin of Sam Jackson Nick Fury. That is the first time, because the artist, I can't remember who the artist is. Let me look at it real quick. So Brian Hitch does the pencils. Basically, he knew that Samuel L. Jackson was a big comic fan, and basically he was just like, "Hey, can I draw it?" And he's like, "Sure."
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So he got to be Nick Fury. And Nick Fury's whole idea is that, there's a bunch of super people coming around. We need to fight super crime. And then they thaw out Captain America. They find him. And basically, they're just hanging around. The first 6 issues is literally the Ultimates just hanging around, because there's no super villains. Imagine it's our world. So Al Qaeda exists, but other than that, there's no super villain. So it's literally just a bunch of people hanging out in an apartment and being like, oh, and the Ultimates movie, who would you cast? I'd put Brad Pitt as Captain America and Lucy Liu as Wasp, and then Hank says, how about Steve Buscemi for Bruce Banner? And then Bruce hears that and goes, oh.
Wait, so it's if they did fight crime, getting a bank robber, just be sending out a SWAT team to get someone who stole a purse.
No, it would be more sending in the National Guard, or just a Panzer tank.
Yeah, because if you bring out the Hulk, someone gonna die.
Yeah, and it's all government funded, and they're all hanging out on this helicarrier / Triskelion thing is their base, and they're all just waiting around, and they're like, listen, the government's gonna cut our funding. So then Bruce Banner, in his infinite wisdom, decides, well, I'm just going to take the Hulk serum again and just Hulk out in the middle of Times Square. What a normal person does. Because he's basically like, well, they're going to cut our funding, and the world needs superheroes. So
no, it doesn't. If there's no supervillains, they don't need superheroes. Also,
exactly.
Wait, so does he have to take the serum every time? It's not
I think it's more just he took a super dose and did a bunch of rads, and now he's Hulkified. But the thing about this world is nobody knows outside of a couple people in the US government that Bruce Banner is the Hulk. So the Hulk just shows up again. It's almost like a tsunami, it just happens. And then the Ultimates go and do their thing, and they save the day from the Hulk. And basically they're able to say, well, the Ultimates saved the day from the Hulk. Looks like we got our funding up, because now everyone sees them as heroes. It's the most backwards freaking thing in the entire world. That's basically that's the equivalent of Bush did 9/11. Basically the US government is responsible for their own problems.
What? I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of good ideas happening, setting the Marvel Universe, and now casting Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury, which I think everyone can agree was an amazing choice.
Yeah.
But just poorly executed, man.
Yeah. Oh, also, side note,
why is Thor there?
Oh,
What?
because they ask Thor to basically like join. It's like, hey, Thor,
They
you want
know
to
Thor?
join? Yeah, well, Nick Fury knows about Thor. So he's just basically like, hey, Thor, you want to like come join? Because, by the way, in this, because it's all real, they
Right.
basically have the question going on of like, is this guy the god of thunder? Or did he just steal a bunch of like tech that like makes him fly and like has like a super hammer that goes EMP?
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a little bit of mystery of like, is this guy like actually magic or is he just like messing around?
Yeah, it's a
Like, is
dude
he
named
just like an
Donald with a
ego?
hammer.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, Thor comes in and helps them fight the Hulk, and there's a big like I said, like it's almost like 9/11 like level of destruction. And there's like a
Ooh,
huge
wait, nine. That's thousands of people dying.
yeah. Well, I think it's like they give like an actual number. I think it's like 900 people. Like just out of like injuries.
Just because
Injuries and deaths.
Bruce Banner was like, "We need more." So they killed people.
The Hulk did, and then they all had. By the way, nobody told him to do this. He decided to do this, and then everyone had to go and like beat the hell out of him as
Steve
the
Buscemi
Hulk.
should play him.
He would be good. He would be good. I'd cast him. That's not an insult.
Steve
Um,
Buscemi's a great actor.
he's good. He is award worthy. I don't know if he's award winning.
I'd have to look that up, man. I don't know. Idea.
Who can say?
All I know is it's Spy Kids 2. That's
Yeah. So that's the first 6 issues of the Ultimates, of Ultimates 1. The next 6 issues is an actual like superhero story and like the ultimate version of the Skrulls invade, essentially. And
okay.
that basically goes on its own, and they save the day and they use the Hulk and all that. So now the world knows the Ultimates, and they literally save the world from like a Skrull invasion. They call them the Chitauri, but they're basically Skrulls,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Listen, hold on to your suspension of disbelief because it takes a fucking beating during this. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and Captain America's like a dick during it. Like but he has like a hilarious one-liner to like the leader of the Skrulls or the Chitauri, and just basically says, "What do you think this A stands for on my head? For France? I don't surrender." Like he basically just
ass.
Yeah, it stands for ass, America's ass.
America.
But he's just like, this A doesn't stand for France. I don't surrender. I'm just like, okay, all right, what a line.
It stands for adultery. It's the scarlet letter.
Yeah, he's a whore. Why not?
He's a whore.
He's a whore. He's a slut. That Steve Rogers.
Can you imagine if it was like Captain America, but it's just an M, and he's like, it stands for America.
Yeah,
America.
Captain America.
That's redneck Captain America.
Yeah. So now in Ultimates 2, which is the story I came to talk to you about today, it's a little blurry, but Ultimates 2 starts out with the Ultimates are doing great. They're going into places like Afghanistan and just, taking care of business, fighting terrorists and telling people to head out. Captain America's taken on like 20 soldiers. By this point, they recruit like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch because why not,
Yeah.
And, so they're all having a great time. Oh, Iron Man and Black Widow actually start dating, so that's great. So Black Widow ends up getting some Iron Man armor just to be like, well, here you go. What a great time everyone's having. And everyone seems to be doing okay. Captain America and Wasp are dating, but he's always complaining about like movies nowadays or music or what women wear.
And Hank Pym is just sitting like there in the corner like a cuck. Like what?
Oh no, Hank Pym. After they found out he beat the shit out of his wife, they fired him.
Okay.
They were straight up just like, "You're gone." And also, because you work for the U.S. government, we own the Giant Man serum. Like,
Oh,
so
that's gonna go well.
so we basically own some of your patents. So they basically get a bunch of like US Marine Corps guys and just say, you're the Giant Man Brigade or whatever. So literally there's just a ton of them going around in the Middle East too. Like
Can
all
you
of it is like,
imagine?
it's like Flight of the Valkyries. It's like
I was thinking more of like the Bumblebee, where it's like, and they're just like kind of stumbling around. They're in like their big like marine armor with like bulletproof vests and stuff, and they just have like just giant guns. They fire a bullet, it destroys a house.
No, they have like superhero suits. Like they have
No.
like crappy ones. Like they have like what Hawkeye wears basically, which is like a leather vest and pants and goggles. Like that's what they get.
I mean, I like what Hawkeye wears.
Yeah, but like think about even more derivative. Like that's basically what that is.
Also, does Hawkeye have like a weird buzz cut in this?
Yeah, he has a super weird buzz cut, and the drawings are definitely weird. I would have just made him bald, just a shaved head or more hair. Yeah, he has a weird medium in this, but
Well, this
that's
was the
okay.
2000s. The shaved head, like the buzz cut was in.
Yeah, he has like a single earring too, just to show that he's like that guy.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's in like a 90s boy band.
Right, he's in
It's like
sync.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, they're having fun in the Middle East, just wrecking shit. Thor is like, hey, this is kind of weird. I'm gonna go back to being an eco-terrorist.
And everyone else is like, for oil! And then,
yeah. And Captain America is just like, well, another day, another mission. And also they have like a weird implication that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver like have a thing going on.
Oh, I've heard about that. That sounds gross because they're siblings.
Yeah, no, it's really bad and makes everyone very uncomfortable. So, moving on.
What kind of fetish does this writer have?
I don't know. Listen, Mark Millar. Hear me out. So Mark Millar.
I love it when someone starts a sentence with that.
I feel like Mark Millar has a lot of good ideas, but he also is always like, what's the edgiest thing we can come up with?
Is this like the Game of Thrones of Avengers?
Kind of. I would, you know what? A little bit, because
how can we make the audience slightly uncomfortable?
Right. So what if like Captain America is like behaves like he's from the 40s, but isn't like racist? He just has like weird opinions on like how people should be. What if
not
like
racist, just sexist? Yeah,
right. He's a little sexist.
Yeah, I think sexist is fine. Just racist is bad, obviously, but sexist, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Who should vote? What? Never mind. Yeah. Where was I? That's right. So Ant-Man is just hanging around. All he has left is the Ant-Man technology, the helmet. That's really all he has, because he just basically got disgraced and he's now getting cucked by Captain America. And he is trying to like figure out things, how his life's gonna go. He's trying to like make a plan, and he basically sees like a Reddit post of like superheroes getting together, calling themselves the Defenders. And when I say the Defenders, there's like, these guys are shitty. Okay,
this isn't like Luke Cage, and
there is a Luke Cage. He does not have bulletproof skin. He's just a guy who has a six-pack. Like he basically took like self-defense classes at the YMCA.
Yeah, he gonna die.
Yeah, there's him. There's like a Batman ripoff. Who's like
a Batman ripoff?
Yeah, it's
Daredevil.
No, Daredevil is nowhere near this. No, he actually has some common sense. But then there's a girl named Valkyrie, as some of you may know from the Thor movies. She is straight up just like a 19-year-old who took a couple of self-defense classes and is kind of like, yeah, I'm Valkyrie. I'm like Thor's Asgardian sidekick. They've never met. Those two have never met once. Like, this is a bunch of like clout chasers, essentially. And
perfect. Yeah.
their first mission goes horribly. Like it just goes down the crapper immediately. The Batman ripoff tries to like glide in and kick a guy, breaks his ankle.
What's the Batman ripoff's name?
I don't even remember. He doesn't deserve a name. Okay, he doesn't even deserve one. This guy sucks so hard. Let's call him Owl Man, just for shits and
Just really
gigs.
lean into it.
Just lean into it. It's Owl Man, because yeah. But he breaks his ankle, and there's this hilarious part where is like, "Yo, where'd you come from? You kicked me, man!" And he has his broken ankle. He's like, "Oh, shut up, stop talking. My ankle's broken." And I'm just like, "Wow, Earth's mightiest."
Hey, if they ever make this guy into like a movie hero, Will, I think you got a chance.
You know what? I just might. Let me spend 10 days in the gym and put on some spandex. That'll really do it. But Hank's life sucks right now. And guess what? The Hulk's life sucks too, because somehow somebody leaked to the press that the Hulk is Bruce Banner. So you can only imagine how the public feels about that.
Hey, you killed 900 people.
Yeah. And you did it knowing what would happen. So they put him on trial, and it's a very quick trial. They sentence him to death. They give him the death penalty.
That's not going to work.
Yeah. But basically, they call in Hank Pym, and they're just basically like, "Hey, can you work with his genealogy? Because one, we have to find a way to put him to sleep on an island, and then we're going to nuke that island." He does it, but there's a question of like, did he give him the right dosage, or did he follow directions? And obviously the Hulk is coming back. We just need to get him out at some point. But the big question is, who leaked that Bruce Banner was the Hulk?
Captain America.
It was Captain America. He's a truther. No,
but I wasn't. Okay.
So it gets leaked to the press. I would have leaked it. So that's going on. And then Thor is getting a little out of hand. He's doing all kinds of crazy stuff now. And he basically gets pushed to the point that he is ousted from the Ultimates, when all of a sudden, like, the Ultimate Universe equivalent of Star Labs in the Marvel Universe calls the Ultimates over and is just like, "Hey, so by the way, that's not actually Thor. This guy is not the God of Thunder. He stole a bunch of technology."
Oh my God.
And he's a crazy person. Is it
Donald Blake?
Yeah, they say his name is Donald Blake.
Okay.
And this one guy basically is saying like, "My name's Luke. I am Donald's brother. And we essentially were working on this project. He went crazy, stole it. He's really into Norse mythology. He thinks I'm Loki. Like, we need to stop him."
Luke. So, yeah, that's good. Okay.
Yeah. And so basically the Ultimates have to go in and arrest Thor. And they drop like a ton of stuff on him. And there's this really cool scene where Quicksilver is Thor's beginning to fly, but he like jumps off the trees like it's Twilight, and he like grabs his hammer and takes it away from him and all that.
Well, is he worthy? I don't know.
No. Oh, you know what he does? He takes his belt that allows him to fly.
What? Wait, his belt allows him to fly?
Yeah, because they're saying it's like technology and stuff.
Okay, well, I know like Stanley, it's like the weight of the hammer that allows him to fly.
Right. It's the Ultimate Universe. Nothing makes sense.
All right. Okay. Cool.
So now we have the Hulk off the table. We have Thor off the table, and Hank Pym is secretly seeing his wife again, and he's getting funding for a new project called Ultron. And we will see how that pans out. Anyway,
it's gonna go great.
It's almost like there's a whole movie predicated on it. But so we get Thor off the table, we get Hulk off the table. Ant-Man is doing his own thing, being a jackass, and then Hawkeye's family gets murdered. They just get like shot down by a bunch of like armed guys. And there's actually a picture I sent you where they literally raid Hawkeye's house and he's in the kitchen throwing knives at them just repeatedly. And he's like, shouldn't have put me in the kitchen. And yeah, so basically all of Hawkeye's family is set up and then immediately is killed. His kids that are like 5 are shot in the head. And then basically his wife is killed. It's just him. And apparently he is shot and killed too. He's not. He's tranquilized and captured. That's basically what happens. And now a lot of people are off the table. So clearly something's going on. But none of these people are the actual Avengers, so they don't know what to do.
Wait, okay.
We need to write down. Start taking notes.
Okay, Hulk got murdered-ish.
Yep, Hulk got the death penalty. Thor got put into an insane asylum,
and Hawkeye got like beat up.
Yeah, got quote unquote killed.
Okay, so 2 heavy hitters and the Archer.
Yep, the 2 heavy hitters and Hawkeye.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. Hawkeye was like my favorite Avenger. For like, I think he still is, but he's like my favorite. But he is like the bow and arrow guy,
right? It's okay to have poor taste, you know.
Fuck you.
All right.
Well, I think he's cool.
Okay,
but okay, are these what? But they're not the real Avengers? Or are they like Skrulls? What's going on?
No, they're technically the Avengers. I'm just saying these are the Ultimates, and I say they do not act like the Avengers at all.
Gotcha.
But so everyone's getting off the table. Captain America gets framed for killing Hawkeye's family. Like, just because apparently there is footage of him doing it. So they basically deep faked Captain America just shooting bullets into a family of 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because somehow, you know?
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah. So what happens next is Nick Fury is like, I trusted them, damn it. Everything's falling apart. And so he gets like a bunch of SHIELD agents. And Captain America's sad because he is no longer cucking Ant-Man. Ant-Man is re-cucking or reclaiming his wife in some ways.
Ooh, yeah, we love claiming women.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of the female parts are underwritten in this story. We could just claim that right now.
Oh,
but
God. Okay.
It is what it is. So they basically try to capture Captain America, and there's a photo I sent you. It's just like a million tranquilizer darts going into Captain America. Just and they just like they bring in like Iron Man suits, they bring in, you know, like Giant Man like soldiers, they have like SHIELD soldiers come in, all kinds of tech are coming down on Captain America to put him essentially in like a black site. And Nick Fury is like, you know what? He's probably not even Captain America. I want to find out who this guy is. Like they basically thought that like Captain America's a plant at this point. He's like, he's some kind of sleeper cell. He leaked the info for the Hulk and he killed Hawkeye's family. I bet he even hit Jan. I bet it wasn't even Hank. They don't say that, but it's like to that point of just like craziness.
Cancel culture.
Yeah. Captain America's canceled. So now everything's going wrong. And what happens next? It's so bad. So now it's basically Nick Fury is talking with like Wasp and like a couple other people of who would still be around. And then the Triskelion gets like bombed along with 50% of New York. And there's just a surprise attack. And who is in charge of all of this? It's Loki,
Yeah, I was gonna
aka
say
Luke.
Loki.
It's real. He really manipulated all of these events to make the Ultimates look bad. So, Banner still killed those people. Like, that was completely his choice, but he leaked it to the press. He had Hawkeye's family captured and killed. He's manipulating governments and everything. And he made it look like Captain America killed them on the footage. It wasn't deep fake technology. He just used trickery. He used magic.
So Luke was actually Loki.
Yes, he was. And Thor was like, "No, my brother Loki, he's pulling some sort of trickery." It's like, "Shut up, man. You're crazy."
Which, to be fair, makes sense.
Most of us would think it's crazy. But what Loki basically did is he pulled the best trick that the devil ever could. He convinced everyone that he didn't exist, and he got together his own team of Ultimates called the Liberators. So he called a couple of countries. I'll list a few right now. He called up he called China, France, North Korea, Russia, Iran, and Syria. And he basically found ways to give a bunch of people superpowers from
I like
every
how
different
France is
country.
just thrown in there. It's
Right,
like
they're our allies, so that was confusing.
it's
but
like
it's fine.
communist country, North Korea, Iran, a country America's fought in, whatever, France.
Yeah,
Those mimes. Also,
Well,
I would just like to say that Chris Hemsworth made Thor hot.
Yeah.
Before Chris Hemsworth came in for the role, Thor looked just so stupid. Like Thor without a beard looks really bad,
yeah.
in my opinion.
I think that beard really brought it together.
It
But
really did.
if you like Thor with a beard, again, originates from the Ultimate Comics. So even
Okay.
if you don't like this, most of the MCU is based off of this.
It's like they're like, we're gonna do the Ultimate Universe, but like a little better.
We're gonna do it cosmetically.
Yes.
Which is basically what they said. So basically all of these like communist countries or like enemies of America, the whole reason that they followed Loki and they listened to him wasn't just because of trickery. It was because the US government got a superhero team and started sending them overseas, which is, fair enough. That's an arms race. That's a super arms race right there, which I think is kind of cool. I'm going to give them that. I think that is cool because naturally, if you have a giant team of superheroes and superpowers, there is going to be a challenge.
Right. It's like Iron Man 2. It's like the beginning of Iron Man 2. Yeah.
Right. You get, Mickey Rourke doing that jump rope with the light whips.
Now, if one Iron Man exists, every country in the world's going to try to make an Iron Man.
Right. Which is exactly what happens. So from like Syria, they have a guy called the Colonel. Abomination is in there. Crimson Dynamo comes in from North Korea.
Also, I hope you know that the Colonel, I'm imagining Colonel Sanders.
Nope, it's a guy from...
Nope, you can't change my mind.
Nope, it's a guy... Well, this guy is literally the Colonel is the reverse of Captain America. He has basically a Darth Maul lightsaber. He has...
Yeah, and a white suit and white hair and a weird goatee and sells chicken.
No, he basically looks like Red Guardian, but from like the Middle East.
Okay.
That's basically what he looks like. Because his story is basically he saw Captain America invading the Middle East. He was this scrawny little kid. Some would equate him kind of like Steve Rogers. And basically, they create a Steve Rogers story around the Colonel. And they say that he is the first ever person to respond successfully to the super soldier serum outside of Steve Rogers, which is interesting
Yeah. Yeah. One turned into
Yeah.
the Hulk.
Yeah, one turned into a Hulk, and this guy is literally just Middle Eastern Captain America, the Colonel. And he has amazing herbs and spices. But no, it's and basically these supervillains with Loki literally sitting on the sidelines like a cool kid who's into anime. Like he has like a trench coat and he has like greasy mid 2000s hair and like a white t-shirt. He basically looks like a member of One Direction or like a B-list version of One Direction from like when they first started. And he's basically just hanging out on the sidelines.
Big
Watching
Time Rush.
him.
I mean, Brian
Yeah.
would kill me if he heard me say that.
Oh. That's basically what the Ultimates are doing right now is So the Liberators, along with the armed forces of all these different countries, invade America, mainly New York and Washington, D.C. And the Colonel's like recording it on a video camera and is like having the time of his life. And it's all just downhill. Thankfully, Hawkeye does something successfully. Shocking, I know. He's captured, but he's tied up, but they left his fingernails. So he literally like digs so hard and flicks his fingernails into guards' throats that he's just able to do it. He just kills people with his fingernails, like shooting them in the throat to escape. Welcome to comics, folks.
I think I have to go take a cold shower.
No, you stay right here. you stay right here, young man. You're not going anywhere.
Dumbest shit ever.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But here's the thing. We forgive so much more for Batman.
I don't. I don't forgive him for shit.
I forget. Hey, listen. I forgive Batman for many things, except for child endangerment. But that I still forgive.
Look, shark repellent, hilarious. Absolutely. I support shark repellent.
Absolutely.
That's about it.
Fair enough. So Hawkeye escapes. Captain America is freed by Wasp. Nick Fury loses an arm at some point. They gloss over that, but they're just like, I guess to show the stakes, to be like, he lost his arm.
Wait, are like Captain America and Wasp dating again?
No, but like they're like, listen, things are bigger than us right now. So cool. Captain America gets his shield, and it's like, all right, we have to attack the White House right now.
You said that very casually.
We need to attack the White House right now. So we need to go in and essentially just start a raid. And Hawkeye's already there. He's like, no problem. Room clear. We did it. So, Hawkeye gets some cool moments. He gets some cool opportunities.
He's got some fingernail moments as well.
Right. So basically, yada, yada, yada. This and that happens. The attack is going on. And Iron Man is about to go in. But who betrays him? Black Widow, baby. She's Russian. She's in on it. Because she's a spy.
Yep.
She's a spy, and she tries to stop him, and then he just says, hey, remember yeah. She has no soul.
Yeah.
So basically what the argument is that the way he gets away is, hey, you know that Iron Man suit I gave you? Well, I injected some nanites into you so you could interface with everything. Yeah, those are going to go haywire right now. So you have like the worst migraine ever. And then he makes a huge sacrifice, a bottle of champagne, and smacks it across her face. It knocks her out.
Cries about it later.
Yeah, he's like,
that was a vintage 1989.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, yada, 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 such and such. Things are looking dire. And all of a sudden, they end up fighting. The Captain America and the Colonel fight. Captain America obviously wins. The Hulk comes back. And he basically just does the thing is like, that's the secret. I'm always angry. And he's like in control now or something, because why not? And him and the Abomination fight, and the Abomination, if you don't know the comics, is basically Hulk, but like able to talk normally. There's basically
like fish fins.
Yeah, it's like, there's no way you can beat me. I'm smart and strong. And Hulk literally beats the crap out of him. He just beats the crap out of him, basically says, like, what's the capital of Texas? What's the square root of 34? What's all these different things? It's like, oh, seems like you're not so smart now. And just like beats the crap out of him. Like, it's not entertaining.
Just sounds like childish. It sounds like a guy getting revenge on his like elementary school bully.
Yeah, it's basically what that was. And then he punches a hole through his mouth. Like, he literally just punches. He puts his fist in his mouth and punches the other way out, essentially. And I guess that's Hulk's arc, you know?
From terrorist to murderer.
Yeah. So basically, that is a very interesting turn of events. Thoughts so far?
Why?
Why?
Just he had so many cool ideas, and from what it seems like, his art style, besides Hawkeye's hair, was like pretty decent and cool.
Yeah, it's a good. I think it's very well done. Especially at the end, because when the Ultimates eventually win, Loki's the only one left, and he was just sitting on the sidelines the whole time. It's like, the only reason I didn't, jump in the fray was because I didn't want to alert Odin about what was going on. But I say screw it now. I say let it die.
Let it die, let it die. Better dribble up and die.
Exactly. So he literally uses his trickster powers to warp reality. There's giant wolves going around. There's like a Hydra snake. The sky is on fire. And then Thor shows up and fights him. And Loki's like, you're no match for me alone. And he's like, who says I'm alone, brother? And then literally like a rainbow starts like shooting all around. And like all of Asgard pops up. Just out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, we're just establishing that everything Thor said was real and gods are real. And they basically win the day. I say that because that's about as much effort as they put into it. There's like a huge splash page that like is like multiple folds within the comic. And there's like 5 layers to it. It took me a while to open it up. And it's just one big splash page of fighting.
And they're like, Ultimates, Ultimate,
the ultimate
Ultimates get together and throw a party.
Yeah. Ultimate reunion.
Ultimates reunion.
Ultimates reunion. Exactly. So the whole lesson is the Ultimates are like, we can't interfere with global affairs or some bullshit. Or it's like, we can't be a team for America. We need to be a team for the world.
Hey. Yeah. That's...
And I guess they also believe in God now. Gods.
Okay.
I guess it's the power of faith. The moral of the story is lost upon me.
The moral of the story is that this dude was like, hey, I want to dress some cool heroes, but I want to fuck them up.
Yeah,
I want them all to be fucking dicks.
Right. And by the way, if you are gonna make a traitor out of Black Widow, especially when it comes to like the killing of Hawkeye's family, they do give Hawkeye the opportunity to just kill her.
This Wait, did she kill Hawkeye's family?
Technically, like she
Okay.
put the hit out, told him where he lived.
This really does sound like, and forgive me if the author ever somehow sees this. It really just sounds like an incel wrote a comic.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because it's kind of true.
It's
Because
like,
it's really unfortunate because he has other good works
but
that
yeah,
aren't this.
but it's like, okay, all the women are weak characters, you know. Janet goes
Or
back
just
to her abuser husband.
yeah,
Black Widow's a bitch traitor who killed
right,
someone's family. Um, like all the women are wrote like that. Like it's like, oh, is Thor tech dude or is Thor real magic? And then it's
yeah,
like, oh, his brother's name is Luke now. And then it's like, I don't know. It just feels like Reddit wrote this.
right. Although I guess if you want to say it's like this story doesn't make sense because Loki is like pulling shenanigans, sure,
You can say that. It doesn't make it good writing.
that's very fair. It's a good point.
You can say, hey, it's confusing because magic. Okay, that's not an explanation, that's an excuse. That's just be like, you know what? Screw it. Magic. Magic fixes all my problems. It was magic.
Yeah, and magic is real. After we like did all that stuff about like, is it real? And it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like a nerd's fantasy. He's like, but they didn't take away his hands. So what he did is he picked off his fingernails and went because he's a badass and he's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hawkeye, fucking awesome.
Yeah, and Captain America's like a jock. And Iron Man, he's cool because he drinks. And he doesn't get drunk when he drinks. He's that good.
No, I have never been drunk before, but I think this is what it's like.
Although I will say I laughed my ass off at the very end where like Iron Man's in his office and like Pepper Potts is a character in the book, not at all like the movies, but very like he's basically like, I'm just so sad because Black Widow betrayed me. You know, I loved her. I was going to marry her. And the thing is, I just it hurts too much. I don't know if I can ever love again. And then what's that? Down there? Pulls up binoculars, sees like a beautiful like brunette or something, and it's like, quick, get the helicopter. Time to make a day out of it. I won't be back for another 48 hours, chum.
Yep. It's like some dude is like, if I were hot and had a lot of money, this is how I would treat my women.
Yeah. It's a little bad. But I don't know. I do think it's funny that this is the basis for the entire MCU, which I think is genuinely just like, so you liked how the costumes looked. Okay.
Which is valid.
I think fair.
You know? Because I do think the MCU costumes are pretty fucking good.
They're very realistic, and I think that's kind of what they took away from this. It's like, how can we translate it into something that looks real? And they did. And I think it turns out pretty good. The art is really fun. Yeah. I personally would vouch for anyone to try and pick this up. If you see it at a library or if you see it at like a half-priced bookstore.
Yeah, don't pay a full price for this.
Do not pay full price for this. I'm sorry, Mark Millar and Brian Hitch. It's you guys have done better things. I will say that.
What else have they done?
Mark Millar wrote Superman Red Sun.
Okay.
He wrote Jupiter's Circle / Legacy. Mark Millar, I believe, also wrote Kick-Ass.
Okay.
So he's done some other things. Brian Hitch did The Authority for art, sure. Which is actually becoming a movie pretty soon under James Gunn.
It's a TV show, I think.
Or maybe a TV show, but it's his style is very cinematic. It's very much like how can you make something visually pleasing in a way that would almost feel like a movie or larger than life, but real?
Sure.
Yeah. So that, I don't know. I give this 2.75 stars out of 5.
Okay. That's, I think it's like a D- or something.
Yeah, like don't pay more than $10 for this.
Yeah. Jeez.
It's a big story. I will say, when I was reading it, I never once questioned what was going on, but then I thought about it for a second. I was like, so wait, so Loki was manipulating everything. So he he deep faked Captain America. He killed Hawkeye's family. Is Hawkeye's family really dead? Oh yeah. And they never bring it up.
Yeah, if they don't have superpowers. People with superpowers survive everything. People without, they die all the time.
Yeah, that's real world. That's real world right there.
Yeah. But Hawkeye, he can shoot his fingernails. That might be one of the grossest powers.
Yeah. That's like what Bullseye does. Like he like throws his teeth.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That's, by the way, that's like one of the standout moments for Hawkeye in this.
That's so fucking dumb.
Yeah. And listen, there's a lot of interesting concepts. Like, what if the government had superheroes? And what would happen? And how would the real world respond? And then just add all your favorite superheroes. It has some little nuggets of gold.
So if you were writing this, if Will was writing this, what like changes would you make?
I don't know. I think the Hulk part was a little weird. I feel like we didn't need to take him off the table, especially because he just comes back anyway. If we want to do stakes, I would say actually kill one of the Ultimates. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, like maybe don't make Ant-Man a total piece of shit, and maybe you could give him like a death, or maybe he redeems himself in some way. Like
maybe Wasp dies or something.
Yeah,
make her a real character.
Yeah. I would say some more female written perspectives, because a lot of it is either a love interest or a prize to win, or like a goal to achieve. Yeah, like the wants for the women are a little underwritten. I would say maybe change Captain America's characterization, because he does just kind of seem like just like a thug. Like Captain America, I know, is basically Superman, where it's just like, well, clearly, I believe in my fellow man more than my own country. He is just kind of like a thug in this.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think there's a lot of things they could have changed. I would keep the Thor storyline though, of them thinking he's crazy. I think that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because that's at least like a question of like, is this guy really like this?
Is this guy the God of Thunder?
From the Bible?
Yeah, that's the book.
Yeah.
That's Old Testament, I think.
Yeah.
Exodus.
Yeah. Go. I'm not gonna say go out now and buy this book, but you know what? Definitely,
we're not.
I would, if you ever see it out there, just skim through it. The art looks great, and some of the ideas aren't half bad. So
see it at Barnes and Noble. Open it, look at a few pages, close it, put it back.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. But anyway, I think that's where we're going to call it here. I think we said everything. What, AJ? Any thoughts?
My faith is shaken but not shattered.
Oh, how so?
I'm hoping the next comic you show me has good writing.
There we go. It's gonna have blackjack and hookers and all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah, lots of drugs. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. But until next time, we'll see if that ends up happening. But thank you for joining us for this special episode of Accountability Score Improvement. I'm Will.
I'm AJ. Have a great
Keep
life.
reading. Yep. Read better things. Bye-bye.